today is Limerick's last match. They're definitely assured of a place in the All-Ireland Championship in the all-important top three, but they do have one foot in the Munster final as well, given their superior scoring difference over the only two teams who could make it a three-way tie in 6 points. That, of course, would be Clare and Waterford. Now, there are several permutations based on results today. For example, wins for Cork and Limerick would set up a cracker of a weekend with potentially 3 teams battling it for just 2 spots. But if results go the way that most people expect, with wins for Waterford and for Limerick, that would mean that Waterford and Clare would be safe and Cork and Tip would be gone with a round to spare. Okay, last night was also a massive game in the Leinster Championship as well, particularly 2 eye-catching results. Especially, you would say, arguably the result of the weekend, result perhaps of the Championship, coming for Westmeath in Mullingar against Wexford. They pulled off a draw, 2-15 to 21 points. Now, there were a number of times where it looked like Wexford may well pull clear. Oisin Foley got a couple of points. This could be crucial, though. Mark Fanning dropping a long speculative ball in, and it led to a goal. Wexford did look like they were going to pull away a couple of times in the second half, Anthony. But Westmeath, even when they lost Davy Glennon late on in the game, they just held on and managed to come up with a goal right at the end. Yeah,
and Joanne, I've been impressed with them. They've been, they might have taken one beating, but they tried so hard in every game. I suppose they saw this as a real target, Wexford coming to Mullingar, and a man that has given all his life to Westmeath hurling, Derek McNicholas, to come up with the goal to level it. Great result for them. Joe Fortune's a top-class manager, top-class coach. I've been surprised that he hasn't been involved at this highest level in either Dublin or Wexford, where he's from, and hugely involved with Dublin teams over the years, Ballyboden and that, so great result for them.
OK, in Parnell Park, Kilkenny beat Dublin by 17 points. Now, this man here, Mossy Keown, he helped himself to 2 goals. There was also, Donal Óg, quite a large sprinkling of TJ Reid magic.
Yeah, I tell you, the first half was nip and tuck, and that goal there was probably the big difference between the two teams. But in the second half, like, it was an outstanding performance by Kilkenny. TJ Reid was doing what TJ Reid does, and that magic, how he got that time there to set up that goal, but still had that vision. And this finish here that's coming up, you talk about players in terms of batting the ball to net, but the skill and the power and the ability to be able to do that. He was taken off in the Galway game. I think we got the answer from him last night. That is TJ gone anywhere? He's absolutely not gone anywhere. Very disappointing from a Dublin point of view, I would say.
Yeah, we'll have a little more conversation on those games in a moment, but let's have a look at the table first of all. The draw for Wexford, that also helped to Galway to make sure of their progression in the Championship, combined with their own 227 to 21 points win in Laois. They had 14 different scores in that. Micheál, you were watching that game. How good did Galway look?
Yeah, they started really well. I think they went 8 or 9 points up, and as you mentioned earlier, they had 14 different scores. You had Cathal Mannion, I think, scoring 8. Tom Monaghan, who's having a fantastic season, scoring 6 points. You have to give huge credit to Laois. The second quarter they got 4 or 5 on the trot and really put it up to Galway. Half time probably came at a good time for Galway, in that they just reset and put in a powerful performance in the second half. But for Cheddar and his management team, they picked up a few knocks. Chow Dwyer went off, Ross King near the end pulled up, so they'll be just hoping that they have all those boys fit for next week when they have a big test against Westmeath.
See, here's the thing about the Westmeath result. It was obviously a huge result getting the draw against Wexford, but we saw Antrim put in all these great performances last year. Yeah. Laois getting some heavy defeats. When it came to the all-important game, who got to stay in the Lee McCarthy, Laois pulled it out of the bag. So next week is huge.
Yeah, I sometimes wonder does Cheddar start the year off picking out that match and saying we'll get everyone? No, Micheál saying they're down a few people. I suppose that maybe, and Westmeath will be buzzing after the result as well, so you'd probably fancy them, but it's still a 50-50. And if Laois get it right on the day, they'll remain in the Lee McCarthy. I don't know what it achieves sometimes.
Just one quick word on Dublin before we go, because John Milan on the radio last night on Saturday Sport was hugely critical of the Dublin players after losing by 17 points because they stayed out in the pitch and took selfies and gave autographs to some of the fans.
I'd be slow enough to criticise players about that, Joanne. I'd be slow to criticise players in terms of, I think it's a beautiful thing that we see with our players, that they stay around the game afterwards, they take selfies. It's not because they want to be doing that, is what I would say. I would say maybe the crowd sometimes, there's a lack of understanding from a crowd point of view what the player is actually going through. But I think it's testament to the type of player that we actually have, that they will stay on the field. I've no doubt that when the Dublin players wake up this morning, they feel terrible. They feel as bad as any other players in the country when they lose a championship game. But I just be slow. I get where John is coming from, right? And it made for good radio probably, right? But I'd be really slow to keep encouraging our players, no matter what you're going through yourself, to stay there, especially in Dublin. We know that the game needs characters, it needs heroes in Dublin. And the last thing you want somebody going out of Parnell Park last night was an impression of one of the Dublin hurlers that they got beaten by X amount of points and then they wouldn't even stay and get their picture taken. So you're in a no-win position as a player.
It's the last place they wanted to be, Joanne, but it's courtesy, I think. They're not looking for limelight or anything out. Like those guys are just obliging families who come onto the field.
And of course, Dublin very much so still in with a chance in the championship. So are Wexford, by the way, if they manage to pull off a result in Nolan Park next week as well. So that's still very much so all to play for. It's also a moving weekend this weekend in the Joe McDonagh Cup and the penultimate round of matches here as well. Offaly have put themselves in a strong position to make the final, probably with Antrim, who are in action at the moment. Lots of goals in that game. We'll get to that later. But Offaly, because of their victory over Kerry yesterday in what was an extraordinary game in Tralee. Here's Damien Lawler.
6 weeks after being relegated from Division 1, Michael Fennelly's Offaly travelled to Tralee for a crucial Joe McDonagh Cup game against Kerry. The two sides traded scores in the opening 6 minutes before Killian Sampson found the back of the net. That goal split the teams for most of the first half as Kerry's Padraig Boyle kept his side in touch with a catalogue of points from frees. On 16 minutes, Kerry were awarded a penalty after Fionn O'Sullivan was fouled in the square. Up steps Shane Conway, but his effort was brilliantly saved by Stephen Corcoran. 4 minutes later, Offaly hit a sucker punch and their second goal, David Nally supplying the finish. Owen Cahill was lethal on frees all day long, but now he hit 2 points from play in quick succession to extend Offaly's lead to 6 by the 25th minute. But Kerry are resilient, pointed frees from Padraig Boyle, a point from play from Colm Harty, and this effort from Colin Walsh that flew just over the crossbar ensured only 3 points separated the sides at the break. The Kingdom approached the second half with the same gusto and hit 6 of the first 7 points after the restart to edge ahead for the first time. Now it was Offaly's turn to rally. When Paddy Clancy's effort came off the upright, Killian Sampson was again quickest to react to score his second goal of the day. And for the next 9 minutes, the visitors kept up the intensity to edge ahead by 7 points. That lead was extended to 10 when Jason Sampson intercepted a pass to set up John Murphy for a fine finish. Many would have written Kerry off at this stage, but instead they hit 2 fine goals in quick succession. The first came in the 57th minute when Michael Leanne did brilliantly to feed Maurice O'Connor, who smashed the goal home. 6 minutes later, Maurice O'Connor again found the net to leave just 3 points between the sides. This one was going right down to the wire. In injury time, a pointed free from Padraig Boyle, and then points from play from Jordan Conway, and this one from Colin Walsh saw the sides level. We were approaching the 74th minute. However, there was one late twist as Offaly's David Nally landed this wonderful point from long range. After an epic contest, Offaly clung on for a dramatic win and now stand just one victory away from the Joe McDonagh Cup final. Full time at Tralee, Offaly 4-23, Kerry 2-28.
Yes, and a different era. Brian Carroll gave 14 years in Offaly shirt, and his last game was here behind me on Cusack Park. Brian, what's the mood in your county this morning after a dramatic win like that?
Yeah, look, we're very delighted to actually win the game because I thought we showed a lot of composure, Damien. You know, we took a 10-point lead with maybe 15 minutes to go, and you would have thought the game was home and hosed, but credit to Kerry and, you know, Shane Conway took control of that middle third. Maurice O'Connor scored a couple of goals, and they got it back to a draw with maybe 30 seconds to play. But I thought Offaly showed great composure. David Nally, obviously, with a long-range point, and it was a much-needed win for Offaly because we haven't had much luck over the last couple of years. But I must say, Damien, the Joe McDonagh Cup has been absolutely excellent this year. The competitive nature of it. We're even going into next round of the fixtures, the last round. You know, any 3 teams could qualify for the final. You would expect that Antrim would be number 1, but 3 of the other teams, it would be Offaly, Kerry and Carlow. Any of them can qualify. So it's been a brilliant set of fixtures.
Just in terms of Offaly's progression then, Brian, from the dark years, and you saw many downs in your time for the senior hurling team, happy enough with the way the minors are going, happy enough with the senior team's progress. Is there anything more that needs to be done to try and get Offaly slowly back up the ladder?
I suppose it's all about building it underage, and look at Michael Dighton, as we know, has come in as chairman. He's done a lot of work and tried to get GPOs on the ground, help out the clubs, help out the schools, and it's just more of that. You know, we played in the Leinster minor final a couple of years ago. We're playing another one tomorrow, and hopefully we'll win that. But it's about building these teams time after time.
What about public morale down in Offaly, Brian? If you spoke to people in the county for years, it was Burr versus Tullamore, where should the games be played? There was nearly an apathy there. Has that moved on? Are people over the negativity and looking to the future with some bit of hope?
I suppose there's a lot more of realism at the moment. We understand where we're at. We understand the challenges. Even if we did qualify out of Joe McDonagh Cup, how difficult it would be to be up in Leinster Championship next year. There's a huge gap in standards. We're very aware of that, but all we can do is keep building.
Just one last question before we go. Very quickly, Clare Limerick, how do you see it going later on this afternoon, Brian?
I think we're in for a hell of a game, in fairness, Damien. Look, it's going to be a packed house. It's going to be a huge game, and I'm really looking forward to it. And I just hope that Clare bring their absolute best that they've done over the last couple of games, and we know exactly what Limerick are going to be. So tight game, but I just expect Limerick just maybe to shade it.
OK, Brian, 18,500 tickets sold. Joanne, back to you for now.
Yeah, hopefully we get 2 tight games this afternoon. On top of our following on from those extraordinary games we've seen all across the Joe McDonagh Cup this year. Here's a recap of what Brian was hinting at there. If Antrim beat Meath, they're into the final. Now, can you see the current score from that match that threw in at 1 o'clock? 3-13 to 2-3, still in the first half there. So if Antrim win that game, which they look like they're going to do, they are in the final. And 1 win away from an immediate return to the Liam McCarthy. They face Kerry in the final round next week, and the second place in the final isn't quite settled yet, despite Offaly's win yesterday, because a win for Kerry against Antrim combined with a win for Carlow over Offaly would mean 3 teams would finish on 6 points, and then they would have to be split by scoring difference. And of course, if Antrim are already in the final, it means it's not as straightforward as people think next week.
No, it isn't, Joanne, and it's the only thing you'd say is it's in Offaly's hands. Like, if they do their business, they're in the final. So that's the key thing.
But Carlow aren't an easy
they're
prospect.
not, and those 4 teams are very equally matched, like in that. And Carlow, you know, they'll want to beat Offaly, local rivals and that. I thought it was a great game. Yes, I was listening to it on radio. Kerry, Michael Holland, fantastic excitement. And you thought when Kerry got it back, would they win it by a point? And a massive score from Offaly to win it. So, yeah, it's been a great competition so far, and it'll continue like that, I'm sure.
Oh, we hope so. Now, back to Munster hurling. We'll be making our first trip of the day to Walsh Park shortly.
It's Cork against Waterford. This is going to be interesting. He's going to go! It comes to Dan the man. He hits it.
Mickey O'Connell once again. And Cork have beaten Waterford to a last goal.
I love the county, you know.
We love John Malone. Flynn goes for a goal. It's good. What a day for Dacia hurling.
That shot on the game, blocked again on the goal line. He is giving a free in.
Bennett still, that is superb. Waterford have won back the National League title.
Their league champions, already tipped as potential All-Ireland finalists by many, but Waterford's survival in the championship is far from assured yet. Cork are hanging on by a thread, but they could blow the top 3 scrap wide open today. What an afternoon we have in store in Walsh Park. Less than half an hour to Waterford and Cork throw in. And what an opening half we've seen in the Joe McDonagh Cup match. It got underway at 1 o'clock. It is half-time. Antrim have scored 5 goals already, 5-16 to 2-5. They lead Meath. Remember, a win for them will make sure they go through to the final. There have been 2 goals each for Conor McCann and Sean Elliott as well. We wouldn't mind plenty of goals down in Walsh Park. Our commentator in Waterford is Brendan Cummins, and he's with our pitchside reporter, Damien O'Mara.
Thank you, Joanne. Good afternoon. We've an 11,000 capacity sellout here at Walsh Park. It's Munster Hurling Championship round robin in theory, but the ghosts of the old knockout championship are alive and well in Waterford this afternoon. Winner takes all effectively. As mentioned, Brendan Cummins is alongside me. It's interesting, the dynamics around these games. We're talking to fans, stewards, everyone here. Psychology, bottle, everything else. How big a role is all of that going to play? Who deals with the pressure the best today?
Well, it is, and I think Cork, in fairness, is a term in life for sport is backs to the wall, and I think Cork are at that now. And there's also the grudge of after losing the league final as much as they did. And you saw, I got a hint of it during the week with Liam Cahill urging Waterford supporters to be loud. He did in his pre-match interview as well. They know that if Cork come out here today and show the fight that we all hope that they'll show, then that there'll be a serious test. But that question mark is still there with this Cork group. Will they show the anger and aggression that's needed in the confines here at Walsh Park? And we'll find out shortly.
And just on the rallying call, the place shook when Waterford came out of the tunnel. There was quite an audible booing when Cork came out. So Liam Cahill has won the first battle there. Just on Cork, there's been so many questions about identity, about their ability to challenge physically. When we're looking at this, 5 wins from 5 at the start of the league, All-Ireland final last year. Can we ask questions about if they've simply peaked too early or they've timed this wrong relative to the other All-Ireland contenders?
Well, not really. I suppose we still have Waterford in as being one of the favourites to the All-Ireland, and they won the league, and they had no qualms in saying that they wanted to go out and try to win the league. So, I mean, in fairness to Kingston, after that All-Ireland final last year, you know, getting a smacking like that, he wanted to get confidence back in, get a style of play reinforced to these players. So you would have said, without the benefit of hindsight, I suppose, that they were doing everything correctly, winning all the league, bit of momentum, and then, you know, they haven't really gotten going in the championship. But the key thing here today, and Liam Cahill knows it well, and all these Waterford supporters know it, if Cork put up a show today and win this game, they're back in the hunt again.
The other thing as well is the conditions. We were here about maybe 12 o'clock and it was a beautiful calm day. There's now a gale force breeze blowing down towards the Keens Road end. The toss is going to be the first significant battle of this game.
It is. It's really important that if Cork do go against the breeze, that they can get ball winners in their half-forward line that'll actually try to get it to stick. The last thing you want is waves of Waterford coming back up the pitch. And of course the toss is, but Cork the last day, in fairness, they came back from being 11 points down. But I don't think today, if they go 8 or 9 or 10 points down, they'll come back with the energy and force that this Waterford team have.
Okay, in a word, Waterford or Cork?
I think it'll be Waterford.
Okay, we'll wait and see how that plays out. 8 weeks on from the league final, it's a 21st meeting between the sides in 22 years. Familiarity certainly not an issue here today. We're underway, Joanne, at 2 o'clock.
Yes, we were showing some previous meetings. There may have been a few curses coming from one member of the panel. We won't talk about that, Donald. We'll stick to today's game. And Kieran Kingston, quite strangely, after the last match, talked about nerves affecting his players. They obviously can't allow that happen today, or presumably they'd be gone.
Look, I think that's part and parcel of the game. Do you know what I mean? If you're not nervous, if you're not excited, if you're not feeling pressure, that's kind of what maybe even is a big part of the attraction that we all have to the game. There was a lot made of that. I think, to be fair to Kieran, I listened back to a lot of his interviews because I wanted to hear what he actually did say, and that was one sentence out of a lot of sentences, right? So not untypical of a lot of media outlets. They jumped on that, then made that the headline, and then all the others just jump on and make a big deal. What I would say about the criticism, it's just part and parcel of the game. There's one way to avoid criticism. It's do nothing, say nothing, and be nothing. Criticism is part of this game. When you're in the public profile, mention the public, they're probably one of the stakeholders. We know how fickle public opinion is. Cork get a win there today, all of a sudden the momentum changes and on we go then again. So as a player, you just need to accept it's part and parcel of it. Use it in whatever way you can, but there's a big difference between having criticism of you and letting that criticism own you.
Okay, we might get into that a little bit later, depending on what happens in the match. If you look at Waterford, and we heard Brendan there say what happened in the league didn't seem to have much of an effect on them. Yet they do only have that one game. Limerick, we hear all the time, they have a very specific structure and they stick to it all the time. They stick to the game plan. Do you think actually Waterford have something similar?
I do, yeah. I think they play to a specific structure and a shape, and you can see from the clips here, we picked the Wexford game in the league because Wexford are a running team like Cork, and you can see the setup on the puck out. They're all retreating and trying to entice the keeper to go short, and they're just leaving that just enough space to entice him to go. And you can see Austin Gleeson here intercepts and scores a great goal. And like the first clip we showed there, you can see now here on a long puck out they swarm, but if you see the highlighted player Neil Montgomery, he's wheeling back so that if Wexford do win it, that Waterford do have the bodies. But when they break, Joanne, they come with huge numbers, and not a great shot there, but you know, here again, they're swarming back. They crowd that middle third. They go and support each other. They don't panic at all. And I think this is Stephen Bennett that comes back, gets a hurl in, and that just sets them up on the attack again. And I think Liam Cahill and his management team will constantly stressing that that's their default. Do you know what I mean? They have a structure that even when they're under pressure, or if a team is getting a run at them, that's what they default to, and minimise the effect on the team. And I think they do that to great effect, and we'll see that, I'm sure, today.
And speaking of the man who came back there in that clip, Stephen Bennett, there have been some suggestions from people, given that he hasn't scored from play in the couple of championship games Waterford have had so far, that perhaps he isn't showing the same sort of form that saw him absolutely knock the lights out in the league.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of this fella, Joanna. I think from a Cork point of view today, his impact will be huge. He hasn't got the same amount of scoring that he has done in the championship so far as he did in the league, but look at this example here. Everything good about him, like Micheál spoke about there. He had the discipline, he had the bravery to win it. In the game, there's a lot of talk around the transition from defence to attack, but that starts with individuals, and this contribution to the goal, which was a key goal in that Tipperary game, he was the difference there. We know he's powerful running, right? It was interesting in the league final, you could say that Cork had picked 4 halfbacks in the 6 defenders. Ironically today, with Damien Cahalane coming in, that makes it, that kind of balances it up more, because Damien would be more known as an inside defender. And it was a big ask for Kieran Joyce. And leading into that in the game of the week, I was wondering, would Waterford try and get Joyce into a really defensive position whereby he was left isolated like this, and that's what came to happen when Bennett was left there with him. Joyce had done well. We saw a good example of where he won the ball beforehand, but that's that power and finishing ability that Bennett brings to this Waterford team.
By the way, we mentioned that Tim O'Mahony isn't playing today. It is due to an injury, which Donal did suggest that he wouldn't be dropped on performances. It was down to an injury, and Donal was spot on. Now, for all the talk of who should play, what type of game Cork should play, you think it's much simpler than that?
I'd love to talk about structure, Joanne, about Cork at the moment, but I think Brendan said it there, anger and aggression. Are we going to see a bit of manning up and tackling people? And, you know, I just think after Clare got the red card, Cork decided the red card. Look, see here, look at this. Like, and David Fitzgerald, Cork have a spare man. Go on off on your bike there, Fitzy, run 20 yards there and pop it over the bar. And, like, scoring from distance, Limerick have made it massive. So Clare, but look here, like John, I think of people like John Fitzgibbon, Joe Dean, Shawnee McGrath. They, as Christy Ring used to say, watch it when it's in the referee's pocket. All the Clare lads had 2 yards for a ball off the post. Great corner forwards are always there. But to roll it on then, look at this Paul Flanagan, like Shemmy Harnady's marking space really. No, Colin Malone. You wouldn't get this in the Super 11s in Boston, what happens here. Dave Fitzgerald left to tap a little ball down to Dermot Ryan, who also is a good long-range shooter and couldn't believe his look. I'd say that has to change today. They have to man up and tackle everything, like balls off the post. They have to be absolutely there to contest every one of those and get a flick on it. That's basic requirements. Structure, I'd love to see. They tried that during the league with Mark Coleman as an extra defender. Man up today and go take on the Waterford guys. Yeah,
more criticism again for the Cork hurlers. How are they going to respond? Both Liam Cahill and probably even more so Kieran Kingston had some big decisions to make for today. We'll be hearing from the 2 managers next. Looks like the first victory in Walsh Park has gone the way of Cork and Mark Coleman. As you can see now, Micheál Donoghue reckons that it's with the wind he has chosen that Cork will play in that opening half. We'll get our team news now with our commentary team. Brendan is with Marty Marcy.
Thank you very much, Joanne. Let's start with Waterford. Waterford manager Liam Cahill and his management team select a very strong starting 15, from goalkeeper Sean O'Brien to top of the left Michael Kiley. In between, Conor Prunty and Tadhg de Burka form the central spine of the Dacia defence, and a team that sees Jamie Barron and Caleb Lyons in the middle of the field. It's the Waterford attack that's really shaping up nicely, however. Austin Gleeson leads from centre forward, with Jack Prendergast and Patrick Kern on the wings. But it's the inside line of Dessie Hutchinson, Stevie Bennett and Michael Kiley that has the greatest scoring potential. The Waterford bench is a real cocktail of talent. The Bennett brothers, Kieran and Shane, are very talented, while Darragh Lyons, Ian Kenny and Neil Montgomery have all contributed substantially this season. Peter Hogan and Colin Dunford could also produce the magic if they are needed today. The Cork manager Kieran Kingston makes 4 changes to the team that started against Clare. Luke Meade from Newcestown gets the centre field number 9 jersey in place of the injured Ger Millerick. Up front, Conor Lahan is back on the starting 15 instead of Shane Kingston, while Alan Connolly's performance when introduced against Clare as a substitute means he gets the nod at top of the right. One late change, Damien Cahalane is a late replacement for Tim O'Mahony at right half back. Patrick Horgan could make his own bit of history this afternoon, which I'm sure he will, as he needs only 1 point to surpass Joe Canning as hurling's top scorer in the history of the hurling championship. He's named at centre forward. And the Cork bench story is all about the brothers. At number 19 and 22, Cork have the Roach twins, Owen and Brian from Bride Rovers on board, but other options include Damien Cahalane's brother Connor, while Robert Downey's brother Owen from Den Rovers is a serious option. The referee is James Owens from Askamore in County Wexford, who today is refereeing his 45th championship match. The throw-in here in Walsh Park, Waterford, is at 2 o'clock.
Rocking, I think, is the phrase Anthony used in relation to the atmosphere at Walsh Park. Before we talk about Patrick Horgan, Micheál Donoghue, you have been in the position that Cork find themselves in now when everything just starts to spiral in the round robin. How difficult is it to try to get yourselves out of that hole?
It is, Joanne, and I think it's something you have to appreciate, that the turnaround in games is so quick. Your focus goes to recovery, analysis on the previous game, and then you've only a few short days to think about the opposition coming up. And so it is really hard when you're maybe down a bit on confidence. But today Cork are under pressure from outside. Internally, I'm sure the chat could be like that. Everyone expects Waterford to win, Waterford at home, so they can have a right cut at them. And I think what's crucial for them today is that they have to start well. I think the last day they really didn't start, so I think early on we'll see whether Cork are up for the fight today.
Is that why they took the wind, Dunlog?
It definitely wouldn't be a Cork thing. Traditionally, from my point of view, anyway, we always prefer to play against the wind. Maybe that's feeding into it.
Yeah.
Are we sure which way the wind is blowing down there?
We are just having a guess. Since the Galway fella beside you,
I just thought the flags were going that way.
Let's talk about the facts there, no lads.
Well, we saw Patrick Horgan there a moment ago, our fact checker. No, apparently Waterford will have the win, we're being told. So there you go.
There you go, no, boys.
yeah.
Yeah, right.
So
The confidence is not all gone. It's not completely gone.
There you go.
The fight is there. The fight
He
is there.
came in ready for the fight. He's not going to let up.
That was only when I saw you, Joanne. That had nothing about the rest of the day. It was
I'm
just
used
all
to
when I saw you.
Bring it on. It's okay. Patrick Horgan, are we expecting him to start at 11 and play a different role today?
Obviously he's named at 11, but we know the way the game is now, right? Who stays in their positions now? There's very few out-and-out players. Maybe your inside defenders, they're the guys that always stay there. Or you've got someone maybe like a Gillan who leads the line for Limerick. But even with him, you're going to see him in different positions today. So I can understand why Cork would put him out there, but is he going to be there for the majority of the game? Not a chance.
But I think you want your big players on the ball. Do you know what I mean? And like he is, when you look at Cork, it's Patrick Horgan is the main man. So I think maybe that's why you want your big players.
At least he won't have to be jogging
out.
out 50 yards to hit the freeze, and at least he'll be out there.
Okay, and of course it means that you have the ball winner and Shamie Harnedy in the full forward line, possibly, or he'll probably be doing a bit of moving as well. And we're looking forward to a matchup, perhaps Kieran Joyce against Austin Gleeson. Who knows what way either of those players are going to go. Okay, let's head over to Walsh Park now for the first of these big matches in the Munster Hurling Championship. It's Brendan and Marty.
Thank you very much, Joanne. This will be the 69th championship clash between the counties. It's 47-15 in Cork's favour with 6 draws. Cork also had a walkover when Waterford failed to field back in 1890, but I think there's no fear of a walkover here. The atmosphere around Waterford City has been electric. Liam Cahill's call has certainly been responded by the people of Waterford. This pitch here, Walsh Park, is packed to capacity, 11,000. As we pause now here for the Munster Championship match for our national anthem on Rendezvous. It's a repeat of the Allianz Hurling League final just last month. Waterford winning handsomely. This time it's different. It's championship, and it's a very crucial match. Cork trying to survive in the championship. Waterford trying to step a little bit closer to at least getting that third spot, if not a place in the Munster hurling final. James Owens throws the ball in, and away we go, with Cork going into the attack immediately under pressure of Waterford as that ball is sent in by Robbie O'Flynn, but the ball is sent to the wrong side of the post and wide. Cork, by the way, just to clarify, did win the toss, and they are playing with wind advantage in this opening half.
And they started off, Marty, blowing straight down the middle of the field. Now it's kind of blowing left to right there. Just saw the way Robbie O'Flynn's ball hooked away. Either way, they have an advantage, the elements.
Coming forward is Caleb Lyons, stepping into the Cork half of the field, sending it low along the surface, getting it back as they build momentum, trying to go through the challenge there. Referee James Owens blows his whistle and eventually gives a free to the Waterford man.
Yeah, breaking the tackle. Prendergast tried to do this all day long, and something Liam Cahill want to do is to run at the heart of the Cork defence. The only small snag is now Desi Hutchinson is just limping away from the fray a small bit there. A bit ginger, I'd say, be okay. But again, it's a statement of intent from Waterford, Marty, that when they get the ball inside that Cork half of the pitch, they're heading straight for the black spot.
Stephen Bennett going to take this. He scored 2 goals and 11 points in the league final. And of that total, 9 were from placed balls. This is his first in the championship clash between the counties, and that's over the bar. Patrick Collins looking at his various options now.
Here's Waterford pushed up on the puck out as well, Marty. They're not letting him go short.
So he has no other option but to go long. Down towards Patrick Horgan. Unable to keep it in. That's a sideline ball. Referee telling Waterford to speed it up a little bit. Eventually the ball is sent down towards Patrick Curran. Good work again by Cork coming forward, however, is Cork with a great determination, and already you can feel the tingle of excitement around this hurling arena.
Yeah, Niall O'Leary there, and Austin Gleeson having a running battle off the ball. Looked here like Bennett went in with his shoulder. Yeah, he did it with the shoulder, and that's what Liam Cahill is remonstrating about on the far side of the pitch. But Austin is getting good treatment of Niall O'Leary around the middle as well. It's something we would have expected. And we talk about fight, Marty, coming into this one. You see Daly there, hands on with Luke Meade in there. This is the way it's going to be.
Patrick Horgan standing over this to make history if this lands between the posts and over the bar, and it has. You're looking at the record breaker, the top scorer in the history of hurling. He equaled Joe Canning's record the last day, scoring 19 points in the last 2 championship matches. He now has 22 goals, 502 points, which puts him ahead of Joe Canning and Henry Shefflin. You've watched just a little bit of history, and the response is very impressive.
Some score. He faded that in on the breeze, lovely, Marty. And he's after getting roughed up a bit there in the first couple of minutes of the game, but that's the response from Austin. High into the clouds, over the bar, over the shoulder.
Long puck out again from Patrick Collins. Bypasses Conor Lahan. Shane McNulty giving it back to his keeper, Sean O'Brien, who has blossomed and developed during this championship and indeed league journey. Coming across is Kieran Joyce, now wearing the centre half back. Number 20 in his back is Damien Cahalan, late replacement for Tim O'Mahony. Good work on this occasion by Alan Connolly. And the referee again gives the corner forward from Blackrock the free.
It's always the balancing act. You see him, Connolly coming out in front there. It has to stick inside. It's a fantastic catch out in front of Conor Gleeson. But that's going to be the conundrum from Liam Cahill. He wants his team to push up on Cork, keep them under pressure, stop them tipping it around. But once they can get the ball in there, it's one-on-one inside, Marty, if you push up. And Connolly did really well.
Patrick Horgan, much easier task, much easier challenge. And he raises the white flag for the second time. Previous to Hoggy's point, we had this magnificent score from Austin Gleeson from just inside the Cork 65-metre line. Great score. And it's Waterford back in the attack again. Referee this time gives the free to Waterford.
Kiley was out in front there again. Rob Downey's remonstrating. They didn't push him in the back. Close out on the sideline. There was no need for him to give the referee a decision there.
Kieran Kingston, second time round, of course, managing Cork, hoping for success. They have to achieve it if they're going to remain in the championship. Meanwhile, Stephen Bennett sends that over the bar for his second attempt and second free and second point. Short puck out far as Robert Downey goes for distance this time. Going back to collect it is Caleb Lyons. Spraying the ball over to the far wing as Waterford changed direction yet again. Spreading it out in towards the corners. Good work on this occasion by Robert Downey. In the centre is Patrick Collins. Just to clarify, with Stephen Bennett, of course, to score that second free as Cork takes the ball, and that's going to be a sideline ball this time for Cork. Kieran Kingston urging from the sideline as the sideline cut is going to be taken. Mark Coleman is the player given the responsibility. Between the 45 and 65 metre line. Cuts it in neatly. Just getting in touch with Seamus Harnedy. But Waterford are there defensively very strong. Their challenges they're coming out. That's Ty DeBurka that had the slither. And that's going to be a free out for Waterford.
You need to try to stand up the Burke as best you can there, Marty. You don't have to kill him in one shoulder. Just try to slow down his momentum.
Cork dealing with the aerial bombardment. Kieran Joyce doing well. Working their way out of that zone. Damien Cahalan spraying a ball over for as Mark Coleman from Blarney. Shane Barrett, clubmate, county mate, goes for a score from way out the field, but this ball is wide.
Interesting. Again, Marty, Patrick Horgan's inside one-on-one with Prunty. They're probably better off if they could have Connolly inside there with the pace that he has. There's oceans of space.
Waterford with the possession. Going forward is Michael Kiley, looking around to see who he can pass the ball to. Again, spraying it down the wings. Going for the return is Stephen Bennett, and this one is just outside the post and wide. Short puck out again, far as Mark Coleman. Kieran Joyce from Castlemartyr. Going for that long ball, but it carried a little bit too much pace. And Conor Gleeson is happy to escort it out over the end line and wide.
Patrick Horgan is remonstrating with his teammate there as well to say, please put the ball in front of us. It's 2v2 inside.
Shane McNulty laying it off quickly. Ty DeBurka trying to spray it down towards that corner. The referee felt that Sean O'Donoghue was fouling. He's given a free in.
Looked like there was a lot in that. He's blown Sean O'Donoghue there for playing the hurley or flicking Desi as it comes in. I don't know, normally cornerbacks get away with those ones.
Stephen Bennett going to take this. And he cuts it neatly between the two posts for his third point.
Yeah, Cork has started brightly, I'd say, Marty, but unfortunately for them, not on the scoreboard. 10 minutes in now, and they're 2 points down, playing with the elements.
Short puck out again for his Jamie Caroline. Easily cut out by Jamie Barrett. ends up with Patrick Curran from out the field, and it flies between the posts. Good score.
All mistakes punished, Marty. You give the ball away around your own 45. You can see the amount of Waterford numbers who were there queuing up to hit over the bar. The score from Curran judged the win nicely.
What a catch, Ty Dubravka. Magnificent. Inspiring, to say the least. Sideline ball at the end of it.
Yeah, an unbelievable catch here from the Burke. Look, just leaning over. Did he think it was there? Yeah, and he just unbelievable catch. We're used to seeing him doing it, but makes it no less spectacular. But that's the problem Cork have, Marty, is when that ball rains down on top of their own, the opposition 65. They need to get a foothold there, especially with the breeze.
Just over 10 minutes gone. Cork yet to score from play. Ball dropping down towards Patrick Horgan. Waterford again there in numbers. The hand pass goes a little bit astray. Cork were chasing after it. And again, Waterford deal with it. Ends up with Jamie Barron. Caleb Lyons delivers a long ball. Quality ball, actually. Backtracking is Luke Meade, but the referee has indicated that too many steps. And that is going to be a free out for Cork. Disappointment for Patrick Curran.
Good tracking. We're worrying for Cork is how easily they got out of their own defence, Waterford, to set up this opportunity. See, Kieran Joyce had read it well anyway.
Patrick Collins delivering a long ball again, using the wind to his advantage. On the hand, just took a little bit too much out of it. Waterford struggling to deal with the pressure, but doing nicely eventually. Coming in to challenge was Conor Lahan. Ty Dubravka is in there as well. Trying to get the hand pass out. That looked like a throw. Niall O'Leary, crossfield ball, picked up by Conor Prunty. All-star fullback 2021, and Waterford come away with the possession. Impressive play by Jesse Hutchinson. Getting the ball inside, an opportunity here for Tadesha, but that ball is gone.
Marty,
he's given a free.
He has. The difference between winning and losing, Marty, in the modern game is what Austin Gleeson done there for his team. He's playing at centre forward, he's down his own full back line, turned the Cork lad upside down to get the block on him, then knocked him, then here's another block in, and I get the ball up the pitch. Then it's that level of work rate is what every manager is looking for in their team, and Austin Gleeson certainly provide huge leadership there to his team by going back deep into his own full back line to turn over the ball.
Stephen Bennett with the free, and that's a simple tap-over score for him.
Again, you can see him coming back here. That's what the half-forward line need to do. They need to get back and hook players. And then you do that as well when your big man like Austin creates a simple free for Bennett up the other end. And Waterford now are trying to box in Cork again here.
And doing it rather well, Brendan, to be honest with you, as Cork struggle to get out from their own half of the field. Robert Downey, there's Mark Coleman.
Well, at least he's consistent, I suppose. James Owens there. Conor Gleeson blowing for a tug off the ball on Connolly. Lehman coming inside. Connolly appeared to slip again. There's no major difference. I think has balanced the books with Sean O'Donoghue up on the other side with Desi.
Free for Cork. Just a little ticking, no card shown as Patrick Horgan lifts, strikes, and undoubtedly scores. That's his third point of the match. All of them from frees. Sean O'Brien has Conor Gleeson if he wants to go short. Instead he goes long. Might have been the right option. Robbie O'Flynn taking it away from Seamus Harnedy. But the effort is off target, right and wide. Quick puck out from Sean O'Brien. Oh, good work. Doing what Austin Gleeson was doing a moment ago that Brendan Cummins was highlighting. And that's the sort of effort Cork have to put in if they're going to turn the tide on their season. Sideline ball for Waterford.
It is, Marty, and 70 minutes of that kind of work rate is what we're all crying out for. Look at that, the hook on the hand coming back there. We all know he can spin the ball over the bar, but those hooks, blocks and tackles is what we're all craving to see these Cork players doing, and that little passage of play there will certainly stir the heart of Kingston, the Cork supporters.
Austin Gleeson with the sideline cut. Dropping it in. Cork deal with it. Assertively. Kieran Joyce. Down for Seamus Harnedy. Little flick out for Conor Lahan. Just took a little bit too much strength and power into it. Meant that it was an easy ball for Waterford to gather. Tied to Burke. Sending it down the wing towards Patrick Curran. Still the battle continues on. Nicely picked up by Jamie Byrne. The umpire almost loses his footing, but ultimately he signals the ball wide.
I know it's kind of against Cork's nature, Marty, but there's a long ball on all the time. It's 2v2 inside. You'll see it here now. Here's the two boys underneath this one.
Good work by Alan Connolly, who's asking a few questions in the Waterford full back line. They deal with it so far. Austin Gleeson gives it plenty of air down towards the corner, towards Michael Kiley. And that's going to be another sideline cut. Robert Downey going to take this sideline cut. Glen Rovers man, past pupil, of course, of CBC, played Harty Cup. As Downey takes the sideline cut. Ends up with Patrick Collins. Damien Cahalan is available. Good block down by Patrick Curran. Good pressure. Well won by Shane Barrett. Back to Coleman. Mark Coleman going for a score from way out the field.
Yep.
And that is bang on target. Sheer hard work is the recipe for success, and Cork showing a little bit of that mettle.
There's plenty more scores like that. He judged the breeze lovely. It's a great score from long range from Coleman again.
Sideline ball again going to Cork. Despite the best efforts of Austin Gleeson to control it. Luke Meade thought about taking it quickly, but decided against it, so it's Dara Fitzgibbon going to take this sideline cut. Charleville man, all-star hurler back in 2018. Good cut in as well. Opportunity here, and that is going over the bar. Good work by Seamus Harnedy. Well created by Mark Coleman.
To be fair, even go back to the Limerick game, Mark, here in the year in Páirc Uí Chaoimh, when something was needed, Harnedy was the man. He did it there again.
Sean O'Brien goes for distance this time. Breaking ball, so vital. Picked up by Stephen Bennett. Stalemate again along the sideline. Linesman has his flag raised. Going to be a sideline ball.
Little passages like that, Marty, is what Cork need to keep doing. Loads of bodies around the ball. And Stephen Bennett got the ball there. 3 Cork players went to them just to make sure he couldn't release it and force the turnover.
Sideline cut again is quality. Calum Lines to his midfield partner, Jamie Barron. Sweeping it down to the corner, but he miscued it, to be honest. And that's another sideline cut for Cork.
Don't be holding on to him.
Robert Downey looking at options. He rolls it back to his keeper, Patrick Collins. Jittery fingertips means that there is a sigh from Cork fans, but Cork come away with it. Damien Callahan sends it down the middle channel. Cork player collides with Cork player, unfortunately. Robbie Flynn with Jamie Harnedy. Harnedy is frustrated along on the ground, and Waterford take advantage. Daly dropping this in, easy for Patrick Collins, and Cork will try again. Sean O'Donoghue from Inishcara. Mark Coleman has the time to bring it up on the, roll it up on the hurley, start the challenge. Waterford come converging on Shane Barrett. His opposite, number 15, is Michael Kiley. Plenty of Cork players available for the distribution here, including the keeper, Patrick Collins.
Shots on here, Marty, if he wants it.
And he's going for it. Hits a mighty puck of the ball, but it's going inside the post and over the bar. Patrick Collins taking full advantage of that strong breeze. Only the 5th goalkeeper to play for Cork in 41 years. Think of Ger Cunningham, Donald Cusick, Anthony Nash, Martin Coleman Jr. since 1981. And that's a score that is absolutely crucial, and they're level for the 3rd time in Walsh Park. As the ball comes back in, as Cork come forward again, growing in confidence. Seamus Harnedy coming out around the midfield area to try and gather possession. And there's plenty of space here for Darragh Fitzgibbon to run a Waterford. Robbie O'Flynn is on his shoulder. Robbie O'Flynn cuts inside. Goal opportunity on. Save brilliantly by O'Brien. And the rebound is in the back of the net. Cork have arrived in Park Walsh in a matter of minutes. Great score by Patrick Collins. Followed through with a goal moments later.
Robbie O'Flynn is the man, Marty. The run he made to come off Fitzgibbon's shoulder created the opportunity. Thought he hit it a bit early, but a good save from O'Brien, the goals. But in fairness to Connolly, he was on the spot to pick up any crumbs. All came from hard running from Robbie O'Flynn, though, did really well.
Alan Connolly, nephew of Cork legends Tom and Jim Catchman, scores a crucial goal. And suddenly the momentum has swung to the Rebels. Sideline ball at the far side. It's an intriguing contest here in Walsh Park.
It was always going to be the case for Waterford, Martin. When they pushed up like that, they'd normally have Ty DeBurka sitting on the edge of the D. He wasn't there to cover when Robbie O'Flynn broke the line, and Fitzgibbon, they found themselves a 3-on-2, and they made the most of it.
Austin Gleeson going to take this. Made his championship debut actually against Cork back in 2014. Pops it in, still alive, still available. Stephen Bennett was the creator, and the finish was equally as classy, equally as good. Full marks.
Yeah, great composure from Bennett there. In one possession, could easily have tried to throw it over the shoulder, but his experience told him there must be somebody else free.
Good score by Jack Prendergast. Long ball again, fools them all, and goes harmlessly over the end line and wide.
Yeah, those long balls have to be passed in, Marty. They can't be hit in like that, you know. You have to just float them in over the top, because there's loads of grass to put the ball in front of Connolly there.
Long puck out from Sean O'Brien. Ball runs on timely for Jack Prendergast, going for perhaps the second point. In comes Sean O'Donoghue, challenging. Back outside again as Waterford try to regroup. Nice stick work, good control by Desi Hutchison. Nice ball inside to Patrick Curran, bearing down and goal! Collins saves, the rebound is there, and it's another goal. This time for Waterford. Both goalkeepers saved, both goals scored and rebounds.
Yeah, I just wonder if Patrick Collins could nudge that one further out to the side, Marty. Either way, and the shot came in and just broke it out in front of the goals. There's always somebody lurking when it breaks like that. And sure enough, it was Kiley who's on the spot this time.
Great response by the league champions. As Michael Kiley came in on the rebound, just like what Alan Connolly had done earlier. It's 1-7 to 1-6 now. Free going to be taken by Austin Gleeson, just outside his own 45-metre line. just when you think the Cork were getting that momentum, the league champions responded magnificently. Gleeson dropping this in around the house, batted away, ball bobbles all over the place. A shot, oh! Great save, Patrick Collins. Point blank, brilliant.
Delighted for Marty because he'll have been take over the first goal there going in, but what's this for a save? Great reactions. Left hand up in the air, very strong. Tapped over the bar, great save.
Fantastic save, Patrick Collins. Long ball dropping in around Patrick Horgan and company. The ball is available and loose. It's still loose. Seamus Harnedy was about to pull the trigger. The Waterford are there, putting their bodies on the line. Coming across is Shane Barrett. The Waterford win the possession and they also win the free. Good work by Jamie Barron.
Yeah, Jamie Barron is always that out ball there. You can see he's been fouled there by Barrett, just tangled the legs. Small margins, Marty, and that ball broke inside in the square. Looked for a split second like it had popped out for one of the Cork forwards to flick it to the net.
Ty de Burka going to take this from Clashmore in West Waterford. All-Star 2015 and All-Star 2020. Opportunity could be on its way for Waterford as they create the opportunity. Flicking it high, but flicking it to the left and wide. The referee, however, has blown his whistle.
Free in again, yeah.
Free in again.
Prendergast's done really well. Every time he's gotten the ball, he's just headed straight for the black spot and foul me if you want. And he's creating a bit of havoc inside there. There's no doubt about that.
This is Jack Prendergast bearing down on goal. No advantage coming his way, so it's going to be a free for Stephen Bennett. Literally almost just a few meters in from the sideline. Another one of the all-stars on this Waterford team. 2 National League titles Stephen Bennett has won in 2015 and of course this year as well. Came into this match impressive, 10 points against Tipperary, and
yeah, Sean O'Donoghue's after getting a yellow card there for a flick on the elbow of, I think it was Jack Prendergast on the way through there. Austin had come into the side there to remonstrate with the ref to say that he was being flicked or pulled across.
Looks like Sean O'Donoghue got a yellow card there, confirming it on your screens. Stephen Bennett. You know about the reaction of the local crowd, and that's going to raise a white flag. Three points between the teams. As Cork make changes, it's Shane Barrett that's going off. It looks like that's Shane Kingston that's coming on. Changes being made by Waterford in a moment. Let's deal with this first. Patrick Curran stepping away from Niall O'Leary. Back over fares Austin Gleeson, taking on the challenge that's provided by Luke Meade, and Austin Gleeson from a quite difficult angle sends that sailing between the posts and over the bar. Yeah. Excellent play.
Again, it's a great pass outside from Curran there. New Gleeson's off the shoulder. Gleeson again brought it further up the pitch to make sure. Cork need to get a bit of a foothold here, Marty, now on this attack.
But Waterford stepping up the tempo. They have responded to that Alan Connolly goal with a goal themselves. Floating this one in. High and over the bar. Good score. And they needed it, Cork, at this stage. Full marks, full credit to Luke Meade.
Did Marty, but now like there is probably a 4 or 5 point breeze, I would say. And Waterford are 3 points up now. Cork need an awful lot more here.
Puck out from Sean O'Brien. Dropping this into Cork territory. Loose ball going to be picked up by Robbie O'Flynn, who knocks it back into the path of Luke Meade. And Cork come running at Waterford again. Down towards Patrick Horgan, trying to flick it forward for Darren Fitzgibbon. Good work by Hoggy. Has to let go of the ball. The referee says play on. No sideline ball, no free. Diagonal ball could cause problems for Waterford, or for Cork, I should say, but the linesman has said that that's gone out over the sideline. Sideline ball.
Darf's given to Patrick Horgan a shot there, no real favours there, just flicking the ball straight down the line to him with two Waterford fellas tracking him. Very little place to go.
Conor Prunty like glue to Patrick Horgan, as this sideline cut is going to be taken just between 20 and the 45-metre line, as you can see. Mark Coleman into the middle. Nobody there with a red jersey. Easily picked up by Patrick Kern. Lays it off. Karthik Daly having a go from way out the field. Is it tailing to the left? It is. Ball is wide. Waterford have only shot 3 wides in this opening half in comparison to Cork's 5.
Yeah, now Cork suddenly, Marty, manufactured probably the best matchup you'd want in the full forward line. They have Connolly inside now on Shane Leeson, or Conor Leeson, all by themselves. So if the long ball goes into the space there, the pace of Connolly will be a threat.
Patrick Collins decides to go short. Far as Sean O'Donoghue, keeping it down the wing. Far as Conor Lahan, back on the Cork squad following a wonderful club championship with Middleton. Seamus Harnedy lets fly from the 65-metre line, and Harnedy scores his second point of the match.
And a great score sitting in that front of the Waterford half-back line. Hangs it over his shoulder into the breeze.
Cork stay in touch thanks to Seamus Harnedy's second point. And it's Cork again. Dropping this in. Is it inside the post? Yes, it is. Great score off the stick of Conor Lahan for his first point of the match.
Did really well to intercept the puck out, going to McNulty there. Still with 3 or 4 minutes, we'll say, left in the half, and get a couple of more points here. Cork will need to be, you think, ahead going in at half time for their confidence.
And they've had to work hard. Great catch by Darragh Fitzgibbon. Stepping into the challenge, nice stick work, still going strong. Fitzgibbon on the run is almost unstoppable. Can he score? Yes, he can. Darragh Fitzgibbon scored a point against Limerick. They'll remember, of course, in the league final against today's opposition, he scored a cracking goal. Look at this.
Some catch,
magnificent,
Marty.
Absolutely beautiful.
And then had to drive, Marty, to push right through 60 yards down the pitch. The whole of Waterford following him, short and hurley over the bar.
They're level for the 4th time. Mark Coleman. Good work, great catch. Shane Kingston, a little bit optimistic from there. Over-rushed his shot, wide ball.
And James Harnedy inside him, screaming at him for the pass. He backed himself.
2 minutes to go before the break. 4 times they've been level. Waterford, you think sometimes after they get the goal, they go 3 points in front. You think the momentum is with them. But Cork have responded yet again.
Yeah, Martin, they're playing for their lives, and they're showing the last 5 or 6 minutes there that bit of fight.
Seamus Harnedy. His confidence is at an all-time high now, but this time it tails to the right and wide, almost from the same position. He is protesting to the referee and to the linesman, but Hawkeye hasn't arrived in Walsh Park yet, so I think he's wasting his time. Now, was it over the bar?
I don't know, Marty. I think he started too close to the right-hand post. It's hard to know.
Austin Gleeson having a go. And that is between the posts and over the bar for his 3rd point. Sheer utter class.
Class is right, Marty. Again, Corn wins primary possession. Gleeson off his shoulder. He's been a real thorn in the side of Cork, just going wherever he likes around the pitch from that centre-forward position to start.
Some of the fielding in this first half has been outstanding. We've also seen some hooks and blocks on both sides.
Yeah, the intensity is good.
Damien Cahalane. To his immediate right is Mark Coleman. Steps by the challenge of Jack Prendergast. Now uses Coleman. Coleman looks at the posts and sends this slither high, very high, and over the bar. It's his 2nd point of the match. But you just sense, Brendan, that Cork are playing with a little bit more confidence now.
Oh, they are, there's no doubt. And when you start winning a few high balls like they've done in your half-back line, and Fitzgibbon catches the ball over the whole of Waterford and starts up the middle of the field and hits it over the bar, that lifts your colleagues, you know what I mean? You start to kind of find your mojo, we'll say.
Level for the 5th time. Minute of injury time. We mentioned high fielding, there's more of it. As the ball is set back in, and it's just too much power.
So frustrating for Kingston on the line there. Rick Connolly inside one-on-one with Conor Gleeson, and to balloon the ball wide like that with so much space inside, if that happens in the second half, is definitely going to go in front of Desi Hutchinson. There's no doubt about that.
Here in Kingston must be reasonably pleased with this first half performance. Can they go into the lead before the break? Luke Meade just leaving the ball behind him. Conor Lahan swept inside, lays it off for Dara Fitzgibbon, who's looking good. It is good. White flag raised, 2nd point of the game, and Cork are now in front, with surely the half-time whistle just seconds, moments away.
Yeah, Judge the breeze lovely there. The breeze is left to right. Great score from Fitzgibbon.
Short puck out Paris by Gaborka, but listen to the crowd here. 11,000 packed into Walsh Park. We had a goal, of course, from Cork after 22 minutes, another goal after 25 minutes by Michael Kiley and Alan Connolly. The Cork score. Plenty to talk about, plenty to analyse. Some wonderful scores and some wonderful individual displays. But certainly here at Walsh Park, everything to play for in the championship, with Cork leading on a half-time score of 112 to 111. Don't go away, more to come. Thank you very much, Joanne. Yes, welcome back to Walsh Park here in Waterford. 5 times the sides were level in the first half. 1 point between the sides at the break, and we're looking forward to this second half. There is a change. Peter Hogan from Ballygunner has come on for Karthik Daly, so there is a change in that Waterford team. Peter Hogan had a very good championship last year, and a good league as well, and everything to play for. Can Cork retain an interest in the championship of 2022? There's a lot to play for. Can Waterford book a place in that, at least, if not the Munster final, at least at that 3rd spot? And there's an awful lot at stake. And there is, as Anthony was talking to Joanna, I think a lot of tension. There is tension, and there is almost an abundance of relief and excitement when there is a score from the crowd as well.
There is, and Cork need to use that to their advantage. That's why winning this 3 is so important. They need to get the home crowd jumpy. This one can get over the bar.
And Patrick Horgan against the breeze sends that between the posts to extend Cork's lead to 2 points. That's his 4th point, by the way, of the match. Puck out from Sean O'Brien, using the wind to his advantage, sending it deep into Cork territory, back out around that 45-metre line now. Peter Hogan couldn't hold on to it. Away comes Dara Fitzgibbon, scorer of 2 points in the first half, and also very much involved in the goal, laying it off for Seamus Harnedy. Harnedy back again for Patrick Horgan, but he took his eye off it, and Harnedy, in hindsight, says he, would have been better off to keep going when you look at it like that, but it was a great move by Cork. But they've started the second half full of confidence. Damien Cahalane using the hand pass to get to Ferris Niall O'Leary. That's a good diagonal ball to Patrick Horgan. Cutting inside, onto the right. He hits it sweetly. Is it inside the post? It's outside. It's wide.
There's the Hardy, the right thing, Marty, for me. He pinged the ball inside to the shooter. You can see him here, looks up, great vision, gives a lovely pass to Horgan. Just slipped out of his hand, his fine margins.
Puck out is a long one, dropping it in again. Nobody really able to connect with it. Michael Kiley trying to keep it in. Umpire has signaled the ball has gone out over the end line. Just a little bit disappointed. Student in UL had a wonderful Fitzgibbon. Scored a goal in six appearances, and he scored a goal here today. Patrick Collins with the puck out. Going for the distance. 2 against 1 over here. Who got the last touch? Linesman says it was off the Corkman, so that's going to be a sideline ball for Waterford.
Cork have dealt relatively well. The last 2 high balls have gone in around their defence there. They'll have to keep doing that though, Marty, for another 34 or 5 minutes. Concentration levels have to stay high.
Walsh Park in magnificent condition, by the way. It's like a carpet. It's coming to hand. It's taking a little bit too much out of it. I could see the challenge coming in. Peter Hogan. He's a pass inside past Gellum Long. Little Jill to the right, left, back to the right again. Peter Hogan's behind him. No free given. Good challenge, overcarried. Free to Cork. And the Cork fans getting more vociferous as the match progresses. Big cheer.
Great tracking back there. You can see Coleman there, pull on the jersey, all right. That's why the Cork supporters that close, or Waterford supporters are going mad. They could see it, but in fairness to Cork defence, they were scrambling black well. Coleman got away with one.
Free taken by Mark Coleman. Spraying it over to that far side. Patrick Horgan and Conor Prunty have been keeping each other's company all afternoon. Referee says it's a free, as Alan Connolly was going in to challenge. Free for the home side.
Stephen Bennett's coming back now. It's well within his range, there's no doubt about that. But it's a real 50-50 one.
And Tim O'Mahony is on the field. A change on the Cork side. He was picked up an injury beforehand, and it was a late change in terms of Damien Cahalan. And it looks like Patrick Horgan.
Yep.
Yes, it is Patrick Horgan. As the ball is down at the other end, it's whipped across the face of the goal. It's whipped so hard that it's gone out over the sideline.
Yeah, to fair to Kingston, you would say it's a hard call on Patrick Horgan, but you need legs. You need legs inside in the full forward line now at this stage in the game. Mahoney's gone in there now on Prunty. You saw the last exchange there where Prunty brushed out and caused the free. He needs legs in there and stop that wave coming up the pitch. It's just the reality of where it's at, and fair play to Kingston, he's made that decision.
Patrick Horgan, he's 34 since the 5th of May. A day of mixed emotions then for Hoggy, because he makes history by becoming the top scorer ever in the history of the championship in the game of hurling, surpassing Joe Canning and Henry Shefflin. And he's taken off 5 minutes into the second half. Here comes Shane Kingston. Kingston going through the middle, hits it powerfully, and hits it over the bar.
That's legs, Marty, that's pace. That's what's needed out there now. Kingston cut through the middle of the Waterford defence. Had a man outside him, but backed himself, a good score.
Fabulous score by Shane Kingston. That'll please the father, no doubt. Meanwhile, it's Stephen Bennett trying to get room to swing the hurley. This ball dropping in. And Patrick Collins turning his backs. I could hear him here, despite 11,000. The word was leave it, and they did.
Yeah, it was very ambitious there, trying to hook the ball over the top to Jack Prendergast when the point was on.
Collins, you can see from that camera angle the options available to him. Mark Coleman is the recipient, thought about delivering it back again. That pathway was blocked. Unfortunately, from his point of view, Sean O'Donoghue couldn't reach it. Counts ultimately first Patrick Curran. Sent in and sent in to curl between the post and over the bar. Patrick Curran is playing really, really well. His work rate is certainly at a maximum, and his scoring isn't half bad.
And Coleman's pass just up the line was just that little bit too far, and Curran that opportunity on the overlap.
Attacking the ball is Caleb Lyons, charging forward, hops it nicely, gives it quickly for his Bennett. On the shoulder, stepping by the challenge is Austin Gleeson, heading towards the 20. Make that the 13. He's taken just a little bit too much. Has caught back track. Referee has blown his whistle. He's given a free to Austin Gleeson.
Just want to say great tracking by the Cork defence, and just at the last second when Austin went to swing one-handed, somebody caught him. This is the catch from Tatum. But Austin gets through here, just about to cut in. You see Joyce coming across. You see the tug in the jersey in Joyce's left hand. Fairness, Austin was still a threat there with one hand. He could have rifled the pass, so it's not the worst result in the world. Just to concede a point here from this.
Stephen Bennett, debutant at 18 years of age back in 2014 against Wexford, scores his 7th point of the match, first of the second half. Still 1 point between the teams. Patrick Collins. Again goes for distance. Conor Lahan. Oh, beautiful flick work. Manages to get it for his Robbie O'Flynn. Pulls in it first time, which is always good to see. The old art of ground hurling. Picked up by Ty de Burka. Steps up a gear to come charging out. Referee has his arms down around his hips there. It's gone out over the sideline ball.
Better tackling though, Marty. That's one thing for sure for Cork. He wasn't going to get out. Really well to hassle him.
Ty de Burka has done so well to come back from injury after injury. Remember, of course, he ruptured his ACL in the first half of the 2020 All-Ireland final against Limerick. Meanwhile, the sideline cut wasn't great. Ball is flicked inside. Chance for Seamus Harnedy. Heading towards the 13-metre line. Uses the short grip. The umpires have no doubt. White flag is going to be raised.
Mahoney out in front of Prunty here. Gets the ball and pops it off to create the opportunity.
Look at this. Just look at this for wrist work. Flicking. Ran out of space there, but just the wrist. As they say, he's a wristy hurler, which is a great compliment. And here come Waterford. They've broken down the Cork defence here. Opportunity of a goal, and it's gone across the face of the goal and wide. Bit optimistic from there, where perhaps, again, gift of hindsight, a cross might have been better.
Yeah, I suppose he get in that close, Marty. That batted shot there, just wide from Fagan. But Cork have him now, too far up the pitch, Waterford are.
Ball sent down the line. There's Tim O'Mahony. That's clearly a foul. Referee has given it free, allowing the advantage. Referee blows his whistle again. No advantage has developed, giving a free to the Dacia. Just 2 points between the teams, 115 to 113. And thankfully, plenty more hurling going to happen here in Walsh Park.
No doubt about it. All Liam Cahill's worries there in shot are coming through now at the moment. He knew how dangerous Cork were going to be, and they've proven exactly that so far.
Sean O'Brien from the De La Salle club here in Waterford City. Goes for distance. Cork should have the situation under control. Good ball from Kieran Joyce to Seamus Harnedy, who's playing really well. Sends a nice ball in low. Runs on kindly for Tim O'Mahony. Tries to lay it back for Alan Connolly. Good defending by Waterford. Conor Gleeson sending it down the middle. Great hands. Referee says he's being fouled, Austin Gleeson, by Luke Meade, who was all over him. And this is going to be an opportunity for Stephen Bennett. Waterford going to introduce more substitutes. Double substitution by Liam Cahill. And Neil Montgomery is one of the players anyway. From Abbeyside, student at UCC, has been impressive. And also Darragh Lyons, who also has had a very good season so far.
There's Mike Kiley and Jamie Barron who are stepping out.
Can the change make the impetus? But the free from Stephen Bennett has gone to the wrong side of the post. Just for the record book, that's double figures now for Waterford. Yeah, that's the seventh. That's not just double figures. It's the seventh wide of the game. Mark Coleman. Back for us, Sean O'Donoghue. Lovely stick work by Coleman. He's well surrounded here and needs to deliver it. Back for us, Damien Carolan, who's unable to prevent it. Just a bit of dithering and gathering and messing by Cork there.
It was on inside, Marty. Tim O'Mahony's inside and he's flapping his hand around saying hit the ball in. They're 2-on-2 inside himself and Connolly. Just play the percentages for a while. Get the ball in. The big man, have the row inside and hope it sticks so you get a break, but at least it gives your defence time to get their shape back again for the next Waterford attack.
Austin Gleeson going to take this sideline cut. Hurler, of course, and young hurler the year back in 2016. A huge talent.
Breeze is perfect here from Marty, left to right. Float outside that left-hand post.
Here it comes. Didn't quite get underneath it. Easily blocked by Mark Coleman. And he won't mess around the second time, surely. On first, Conor. Oh, hello, Conor. Was the reaction of right half back Jack Fagan. Waterford win the possession. They come forward. Darragh Lyons gets his first touch, sending the ball in. Plenty of Cork defenders there. Sean O'Donoghue left it off because he heard a call. Cork have the situation under control. Kieran Joyce back for his goalkeeper, straight to hand. Patrick Collins to his fullback, Robert Downey, the Glen Rovers man, sends it over to the wing. Good hurling by Cork. Little touch in the head of Seamus Harnedy, but he continues on inside the 65. He's going for the score, and Harnedy scores. Brilliant play by Cork, working themselves out of trouble. Great move, brilliant score.
Yeah, they worked the ball really well to Harnedy. It's been very accurate. Here's that hit. Yeah, it's Munster Championship hurling, or any championship hurling now, you try to go down the middle like that.
Yellow card for Peter Hogan.
Cork will be hoping Lahan is able to get up now too. He's receiving a lot of treatment down there, still down.
This is Seamus Harnedy, who's had his plenty of time being injured over the years. Great-hearted player. Dr. Con Murphy, legend on the banks of the Lee there, doing the medical work for his county. And Harnedy is okay, and he's able to continue on.
This breaking play is actually, I think, a help to Cork too, Marty. It'll just slow the whole thing down again, take a little bit of fizz out of the game. Liam Cahill is giving instructions to these charges there.
This was the touch on Seamus Harnedy, who didn't complain, concentrated on the ball and sent it over the bar. I can tell you that Conor Lahan also was getting attention, and he's fine. Long took out again from Sean O'Brien, trying to use that wind to his advantage. Gathered by Stephen Bennett, trying to make an angle. Back for Desi Hutchinson, and that's over the bar. It was actually Neil Montgomery rather than Desi Hutchinson, beg your pardon. That's Neil Montgomery getting his first touch, and indeed a point. Shane Kingston saw the challenge coming in, and the referee has given the free against Shane Kingston.
Yeah,
Let's just watch this.
It's a great catch from Kingston there. He came down. I don't think he played it on the hurley anywhere along here. He's just trying to evade the tackle that was coming in from Lyons.
Free to Waterford. Just inside their own half of the field, between the 45 and 65. There you get the geography of it. Remember that there is a strong breeze favouring Austin Gleeson in this second half. Scored 7 points on the journey to this third round match. Has scored 3 points so far. Make that 4. Just 1 point between the times. Cork 116, Waterford 115. Less than 20 minutes left in Walsh Park. Conor Lahan got a touch. Breaking ball picked up on this occasion by Robbie O'Flynn. Sent it into space. Tim O'Mahony, who previously played in the forward line at under 21 level. Ball inside to Kingston, flicks it across. Here's a chance. Alan Connolly gets his second goal. Remarkable. And the Cork fans are gone wild.
Gone wild is right, Marty. You can't beat a guy anchoring the play inside, and that's Tim O'Mahony's job out in front of Prunty. Allows other people to play, pass the ball off to Harnedy. Tip-tap across, great composure from Connolly to stick it low into the net. If ever we said game on, Hartley, this is it now.
Game on now, Brendan. Mark Coleman giving it into the centre. Back again for his Kieran Joyce. And look at the vision, look at the confidence to spray that ball over to the stand side. Good work. Niall O'Leary spreading it down the wing again as Cork go back into the attack. Up towards Alan Connolly. He's lost his hurley, but he's still chasing after it. They play great football in St. Michael's, the Black Rock side of the football club. And Alan Connolly just unable to prevent it. This was a great goal. Kingston, Connolly, back of the net. Brilliant.
And it's a great finish here from Connolly. But even more than that there, in that last play, Cork supporters rightfully happy the way this thing is going. Connolly there lost his hurley, but kicked it out for a line ball rather than letting it go out wide. It's great thinking from him.
Sideline call. Oh, fantastic. Austin Gleeson. Double marked by Conor Lahan and Mark Coleman, and they still couldn't get the slither off him. Free for Austin Gleeson. James Owens explaining to Mark Coleman why he gave the free. I don't think it was necessary, to be honest. Name is noted. Conversation between the Cork man and the Wexford man is now over. We concentrate on the Waterford man. It's Austin Gleeson. 4 times he scored in this match. This one is looking good as well.
Too low.
Just outside the post.
Yeah, the wind never took it in. He hit a lower trajectory on it. The wind never caught it.
Patrick Collins aiming for Dara Fitzgibbon. Peter Hogan and Fitzgibbon, full of conviction and running. Mark Coleman, far as Luke Meade, stepping inside the challenge, trying to get the ball away. He's fouled on this occasion by Dara Lyons, and that's going to be a free for Cork.
And Austin Gleeson get a card here for just a late hit on Mark Coleman there. If there's anything more than that, comes in, and again it's just a spare hand tackle, I think, closer to the goals that the referee James Owens gave the free for as well. He was playing advantage in that passage of play. He's coming in from Austin.
Yellow card for the centre half forward from the Mount Sion club here in Waterford City. Conor Lahan going to take this. That's his angle. Will be 30 years of age in the end of July. Came through the UCC Fitzgibbon Cup experience. And Conor Lahan scores his second point. First one was from play, second one here is from a place ball. Smiles and Cork people. So far, there is still time for Waterford to rectify the situation. Heading towards the 55th minute, 2:17 now registered for Cork, and Waterford go forward. Hal Benton changing that scoreline. Great run by Jack Prendergast, bearing down a goal. Great run, scintillating run. Stopped in his tracks, however. Cork, the ball is still loose. It's in a very dangerous position. Referee is watching carefully. Ball comes back in, stayed off the line, and it's gone out over the end line and wide.
Fitting Marty that Shane Kingston was the last man who had that ball in his hand as O'Dowd. We spoke earlier in the first half about Austin Gleeson working back. It was Kingston that time using his pace towards his own goal. See him coming in on the left shoulder, helping out Downey. See him working all the way back again, second time in the play. It's that work rate is the difference today, Marty, for Cork.
Full marks to Shane Kingston. The ball down for Seamus Harnedy, gathered instead by Ty de Borca. Harnedy goes in hot pursuit as Waterford launch another high dropping ball. Has it the legs, has it the accuracy, has all those ingredients. Straight between the posts. Great score off the stick of Peter Hogan from Ballygunner.
Yeah, he floated in lovely there from Peter Hogan. One, I have to say, Waterford need to see the scramble in around the goals. It's back to those fine margins. Someone gets a flick there. There's the Collins. He's back to the one stage there as well. See how many Cork bodies are around the ball.
Long ball again. Underneath it there is Robbie Flynn. On the ground on his knees. Waterford should have the possession. Coming away with it is Jack Fagan. Calling for it in the centre is Neil Montgomery. Conor Lahan just couldn't hook him in time. Montgomery has a goal. Montgomery has a lash, and he gets the point. The second. He's already endorsed the view of Liam Cowell. A valuable substitute, a valuable contribution.
Lahan, I think, should have got to Marty, to be honest with you, but didn't, so it's a good score. Cork now have to go along here.
2:17 Cork, 1:17 Waterford in repeat of the Allianz Hurling League final. And the story is very different as Robbie O'Flynn. Referee has blown his whistle. And the umpire has signalled a 65.
Yeah, it's a big call. Liam Cowell is really jumping up and down there on the far side. I thought it was just a hook that was gone, and we'll see here now. Yeah, it didn't look like Prunty got a hurley on that.
I think we can put down that as a fortuitous 65.
Yeah, he's given it as a wide, Marty. I don't think Prunty got a hurley on it, to be fair to him.
Good decision.
Yeah, very good decision there. In fairness to the the match officials, they all had a powwow.
Patrick Curran laying it back. Intercepted, just getting a touch was Niall O'Leary. Austin Gleeson sending this in. And from that angle he scored many times, but not on this occasion. We're watching the clock. 58 minutes for Liam Cahill. He'll be doing likewise. Not good for the heart.
No, he'll need all that Waterford support he was talking about during the week, Marty. They need to get loud here now to help their team across the line.
Waterford have shot 10 wide, so have Cork. Level on that particular statistic, but Cork lead more importantly on the scoreboard. Neil Montgomery.
Great work, Tim O'Mahony again here, look.
Still, oh, that's great. The referee has his arm outstretched and given a free to Neil Montgomery. Cork protest.
That's different, Marty, and you're someone playing the full forward line willing to work out like that. I know he's conceded a free there, but he's really made a big difference since he's gone in there in the full forward line.
Tim O'Mahony from Newtown Shandrum, primary teacher in Charleville, as Stephen Bennett takes the frame. It's gone to the left and wide. Disappointment for the Dacia. Disappointment for Stephen, indeed, and for the supporters as they look again at the clock, and I do the same. 59 minutes, 11 minutes to go. The tension is palpable.
It is a sign of pressure to Marty. Waterford are 2 free takers today. Austin takes the odd one, Shane takes the odd one. Not nailed down.
Referee Kieran Kingston and James Owens having a clash along the sideline.
Kieran Kingston, I think,
he's
in the stand. Right away, as I said, Stephen Bennett earlier rather than Shane. Shane will be hoping to get into this game at some stage, but Kieran Kingston now is taking a seat in the front row of the stand.
Long puck out from Patrick Collins. Mark Coleman's calling for eternity. Goes high into the clouds. Needs to lay it off quickly. Needs the level of support, and he has it. Back again, but Waterford regained the possession momentarily. Cork chasing everything. Crowd at the far side. On their feet. This is the championship. This is Munster rivalry at its best. This is a repeat of the league final, and it is certainly different.
It is, yeah. Robbie O'Flynn, I think, was the guy on the far side, mistimed that tackle. We'll see a yellow card, I would presume, for it. Not too dissimilar to Austin over here on the other side with Mark Coleman.
James Owens telling Seamus Harnedy, as you can see, to basically get lost. He's going to deal with this. The yellow card for the Aaron Zone man from Glenthorne.
More importantly, Marty, it's a big free. Here's the instant here now. It's going to have cost Austin there. It was a foul, all right. This is a massive free now.
He missed the last one, but this is a long way out. There's the geography shot for you, just inside his own 65. He's hit it well, but the umpires have already decided that ball is wide of the target. Waterford increased their tally of wides to 12. Patrick Collins aiming for Mark Coleman, and it's a really good ball. Flicking it on nicely. Paris Conor Lahan thought about shooting, then decided to run inside. Kingston cutting inside, trying to make an angle. He pulls it in first time, and that flies between the post and over the bar. Kingston and Tim O'Mahony have made a huge difference for Cork.
You can't beat him. The ball goes in, it sticks, but Montgomery shut down. He let Coleman in around the back of him there, wasn't watching. It cost him a point.
Ball comes down towards, nice little flick up. I was going to say first Kieran Joyce, who eventually gets there. There's a bit of an entanglement off camera, and the referee, James Owens, won't allow it to continue on. The linesman is in as well.
Austin Gleeson's heart should be in his mouth here now. He's on a card already. Downey isn't. They just got in a scuffle there. Rob Downey just pulled him down.
The referee is going to have a word with Robert Downey and I'm sure Austin Gleeson.
I think for once, I think Austin may be the innocent party here, Marty. Robert Downey himself got tangled. Robert pulled him down on the ground. They're just watching what was going on.
Yellow card for Robert Downey.
We don't know. He's heading over towards Austin, which is red.
And Austin Gleeson has got a second yellow. And Austin Gleeson is off. And Waterford are down to 14 players.
Get a better view of it here, Marty, and see.
Just at the bottom of your screen, we continued on, obviously, following the ball. Well, major talking point.
And it was always going to be dangerous when Austin got that first yellow card, Marty. The next scuffle was always going to be interesting. And he's out now.
Remember, he scored 2-3 against Wexford and got a straight red for the foul, and Simon Dunham missed out on the league final. That was the league semi-final. Huge disappointment there will be that he's now been shown a second yellow here. Meanwhile, it's Waterford with 14 players, the league champion. Oh, wonderful play by Sean O'Donoghue. The Rebels are beginning to play like with that old Cork swagger, I have to say. Chasing after it is Alan Connolly. He's already on 2 goals. Coming in to help is Tim O'Mahony. Good work by Ty de Burka. Spreading it down the middle channel. Gone for the return pass. Desi Hutchinson dropping this in, but the ball is away.
3v1 there, actually, Marty, inside there. 1 Waterford inside forward, 3 Cork defenders.
Just mentioning Desi Hutchinson, I've hardly mentioned him that often in this match. Great block down again. Comes down past Mark Coleman. Plenty of players. Patrick Collins comes off his goal line. Collins going for distance. He's already scored a point. This one is dropping down in towards Alan Connolly again. That area of the field, a corner flag. Is it gone out over the line? Yes, it is. Let's watch this again, Brendan.
Yeah, get the high angle here on it. You can't see it really, Marty. All you can see is Austin kind of swinging around the hurley a little bit there. Potentially, it's hard to know though.
Alan Connolly has picked up an injury.
I'd expect Alan Connolly to stay down for a little while longer now, Marty. The clock ticking up to 65 minutes. Led by 4 points.
Heartbreak for Austin Gleeson. And the clock ticking towards the 65th minute, and 4 points between the teams. Kieran Kingston is, I believe, back along the sideline. Here we go with Waterford, meanwhile, as they come forward. Laying it off as Peter Hogan. Hand pass again. It looked like a throw. Backfires Neil Montgomery. Montgomery goes for the score, but it's hopping over the end line and wide. And let's be honest, when you have shots like that, Brendan, you'd have to say that the league champions, their cage is rattled. Kieran Kingston, as I just mentioned, is back along the sideline again.
Yeah, Jan, it's also important for Cork now to make sure they don't concede goals. They're 3-on-2 inside. In fairness, they're holding 3 inside. Which means Waterford might have to do this by scoring points.
Ball runs on nicely as Cork go into the attack. Conor Lahan twists, turns, and sends it between the posts. It's his 3rd point of the match, and you can hear the cheers all the way from Waterford City to Middleton in County Cork.
The pass was right, Marty. There's another goal. Cork are cutting through the middle of that Waterford defence.
No doubt about it. There's 4 minutes to go. It's not an overstatement to say the league champions are in deep trouble here. As Waterford go forward. They stop. The referee blows his whistle as Shane Bennett was fouled, and there's a free in for Waterford.
Yeah, pushing it back there from young Joyce. Looks now like the next free taker for Waterford is Patrick Curran.
Just while this is happening, there's kind of an eerie silence, isn't there, Brendan?
There is. There's a realisation now that with 4 or 5 minutes left here in Walsh Park, Cork have brought the row and the fight that we all would hoped, I suppose, that their ability and the fight together means that they put in an unbelievable performance here.
It's going to be taken by Patrick Curran. Difficult enough angle. I think that ball is...
I'm not sure, Marty, to be honest. I'm not sure now. The linesman should have seen it. He had a good view of it. I am not so sure. I think they might give this as a wide.
James Owen has gone in to check with his umpires.
It's important to get this one right now. The linesman should be the one, Marty, should be talking into James Owen's ear to tell him, because he had the best view of it all.
And David Owens, James's brother, is there with Joe Kelly from the Naviana Club in Goring. The other umpires down the other end, it's Ian Plunkett and Keith Doyle.
It's impossible to tell from the camera angle. They're giving it anyway.
There was a doubt, I have to say, in my head, and you had it as well. It just seemed to be
Conor Doyle there
outside. It gives Waterford a little bit of hope. Heading towards the 68th minute. 2:19 to 1:18. Kingston, Timmerman, the double substitutes have really paid huge dividends. Ball inside. Oh, great save. Sean O'Brien. That should have been a goal. That was another wonderful defence-splitting move by Cork. Meanwhile, Waterford will try to regroup. The ball across field just might have enough power to trickle over the sideline. It's saved on this occasion by Shane McNulty. Keeping it down the line. Good work by Shane Bennett. Outside the 45, he hits a powerful shot. He hits an accurate one. That's exactly what the league champions needed, with the clock ticking towards the 69 minutes.
Shane Bennett's a great score there, but Sean O'Brien, what a save. Came in through, and normally a guy pulls in the ground. You're not sure what way it's going to go, but stuck out a leg. It's a very, very good save.
And that's Brendan Cummins praising another keeper. The goalkeeper's family. You know when it's good, Brendan.
Oh, you do, yeah. It's a very, very good, especially with the pressure that's down there now, Marty, with everyone has their breath held. I'd say it might be the fill-up that Waterford need, but it will, you think, coming into injury time, it'll be 3 minutes or 4 minutes of that. Need a goal from somewhere.
Cork 2:19, Waterford 1:19. We're into the 70th, heading towards the 70th minute. But there will be time added on. We've just been told 4 added minutes. You can't take your eyes off Walsh Park as the league champions are facing a stern test. This is a great run. Taken away off his hurley though. Kyle de Burka ran into a cul-de-sac. Dara Fitzgibbon flicks it forward. Good ball up towards Seamus Harnedy. He leaves a run on perhaps. Back to Harnedy. Gathers it inside the gate, trying to get room to pass it back outside. The referee has blown his whistle. It's a free in for Cork. Look at the passion. Look at the heart of Seamus Harnedy.
You had to foul in there, Marty, because just inside the top of your shot there is Tim O'Mahony. He was just coming in. And if he could have released the ball, it was a goal opportunity. The scrambling defence in Waterford just concede the free.
And they need this point. This will give them a little bit of breathing space. And Conor Lahan, since Patrick Corgan was taken off 5 minutes into the second half, will surely tap this over the bar for his 4th point. And it will also give the visitors a 4-point cushion.
As in Waterford are gone to 3 inside now, they've pushed up really. So that'll give an extra body around the middle third of the pitch for Cork to play with if they like.
We're gone into injury time in Walsh Park. 4 minutes to be added on. 4 points between the teams. Comes into the centre towards Kieran Joyce, letting it fly. Bypasses Conor Lahan. Conor Lahan could still be the end of it. Scooped up beautifully by Alan Connolly. And that is flying between the posts. The Rebels have found their form. They've found their mojo. It's taken a while. They've suffered an All-Ireland final defeat, a league final defeat. Not good performances so far in the championship, and look at Cork now. Excellent play. Ball drops down. Patrick Collins is fouled. That's going to be a free out. A little bit of tempers now being frayed, and it is a free out for the Rebels.
Yeah, in fairness to Connolly inside there, and Tim O'Mahony, the two of them have done a great shift inside there for their team. In a threat all day long, whether it's Tim O'Mahony winning primary possession, or whether it's been Connolly picking up crumbs, finishing chances.
Yellow card for Shane Bennett. That great club, Ballysaggart. Going to take this. Patrick Collins, meanwhile, will get a little bit of attention as he came out to gather the ball. Bennett came in for a trip. No doubt that was a free. There's a bit of afters going on, but what matters for Kieran Kingston. This is undoubtedly the best team performance in his managerial career since he returned to be the boss of Cork.
It is, no doubt, Marty, and the team are under unbelievable pressure. Not out the gap yet, but at the same time, they put in some performance here and they're at it again.
Harnedy is just on fire.
Yep.
Catch, shot, point. He is the man.
He is, and he's angry, Marty, as well. You can see how much it means to him. Up at the hand, look at that, reaching, and then head straight for the hearts of defence. Hits 2 Waterford defenders on the way out as well after he scored.
Well, his mum was a great camogie player. She won 5 All-Irelands herself, Cathy Landers. And he was the first, of course, from St. Edith's Club to play for Cork when he made his debut. Waterford now trailing 222 to 119. We're in the 73rd minute. Just about a minute to go. They're down 14 players, remember, but Cork, fighting for their lives to stay in the championship, have produced a rebel-like performance. The Leesiders have certainly found their form at a most crucial time when the pressure was on. The ball is dropping in, the ball is dropping to the left and wide, but as they say in the game, it's as good as a score.
It is, Marty, especially with the extra man they have there at the back. Mark Coleman now has been sweeping back there since Austin Gleeson left the scene. It suits Cork just perfect to have him sitting there. That man Harnedy, he has had some game, Marty. He has had some game. When he needed him to step up, even in the first half, and I said he came on against Limerick and he was a man gave a bit of a difference. You see what it means to him. He's expressing everything I suppose Cork supporters have been thinking the last week or so. There's relief, there's anger, there's joy. It's all in that celebration.
Harnedy, 31 years of age, playing like a 17-year-old. Making sure that Cork survive in the championship. The pressure was fierce coming into this match. But what a response.
Fitzgibbon again, Marty.
It is Fitzgibbon, and they've really rallied. And the substitution with Shane Kingston and Tim O'Mahony also paid dividends. Alan Connolly's 2 goals. Austin Gleeson's sending off. My word, we have a lot to talk about when we go back to Joanne. Meanwhile, it is a free out. The referee has blown his whistle. The ball is still with Harnedy, zipping and zapping over in the corner. Well, the referee has blown his whistle and given a free.
Hardy won't give it back either. Just more frustration for Waterford supporters.
Well, Waterford were expected. They were hot favourites here, considering the league final performance of Cork. They were hot favourites to win this and at least progress to that almost sure position of a 3rd spot, if not a Munster final. But the whole thing has been turned around on its head, because let me tell you, in case you've just tuned in, Cork are back in the Munster Championship.
They are back, and there's no doubt about that, Marty, and they're back fighting, and they're angry, and they're all those words that Kieran Kingston spoke earlier before the match about backs to the wall. There's only one we can go, and that's forward, and Cork have gone forward at full time, Marty.
And Cork celebrates. The crowd of 11,000 are joyful. So too is Kieran Kingston and the Rock. Seamus Harnedy, 31 years of age, like a 17-year-old. I haven't seen him play so well in a long time. Tim O'Mahony's introduction was crucial. Liam Cahill congratulates Kieran Kingston, and no doubt they will possibly meet again in the championship. But this is a severe blow to the league champions to lose in their own backyard. And for Liam Cahill, he anticipated that Cork pride would come back into the equation, and they did, and that's why he put out the plea for people to turn up. But when you've got that passion, you've got a game plan, it's hard to beat when Cork are in form.
It is, Marty, and it's a game of work as much as a game of hurling, to be honest with you. And Cork brought all the work today. They hounded Waterford all over the pitch. You thought with the win that they mightn't have had enough, but certainly in the second half, the introduction of Tim O'Mahony was, for me, a key point, because he not only gives you a stick inside at the ball, he gets it and he lays it off to others, but he also chases back the pitch. He was back in his own half-forward line, hooking and blocking and all that. So overall, Cork really, really deserved to be back in this championship. Performance down here in the Lions Den like that is a huge lift to Cork.
James Owens there, just going into the referee, Kieran Kingston, congratulating. Look at the fisted clinch, giving it to Dara Fitzgibbon. And I remember when we were doing the podcast for RT Sport, Brendan, myself, and Rory and Mikey, I talked about the passion, because Cork have the passion. And when they have it, and when it's at fire, at 10 out of 10, even without tactics or strategy, by God, they love their hurling.
It is, and it's been a frustration over the last number of years, Marty, to be fair. We've all talking about Cork, you know, and everything has been lashed at their character. But today, when it really, really mattered the most, they came out, all guns blazing, and got the reward for it. And right, they kicked on after Austin Gleeson left the pitch, but at the same time, they were always thereabouts, and you felt that they had that bit of momentum and that extra bit of bite today, which seemed to be out of Waterford. Now Waterford have to go tennis.
And that was what I was going to say. Waterford have a big challenge ahead of themselves. The league champions have a journey to Cusack Park and Ennis next weekend. And as we said, the Munster Championship has just been dramatically changed. Cork are back in the championship, and Waterford have to go to Ennis next Sunday to ensure a place. Here's the full-time score, Walsh Park. It's Cork, 2 goals, 22 points. Waterford, 1 goal and 19.
Cork have absolutely blown the race for the top 3 wide open with that result down in Walsh Park. What it means is before the second match this afternoon, Limerick on 6 points, then you have Clare on 4 points, and then the next 2 counties, which includes Cork and Waterford, are both on 2 points each. And you have Clare against Waterford, Tip against Cork taking place next week. You could have the situation very easily that you have 3 teams ending on 4 points, and then it comes down to points difference, which is what happens when it gets to that situation. You said you never gave up hope, but how difficult to respond the way that Cork did and put up a performance like that?
Yeah, huge credit to Cork going to Walsh Park. Huge credit to the management. Some big calls there. Huge credit to the players. We're going to go through them. There's a bit of fight left in the old dog yet, Joanne.
There certainly is. And talking about the big calls, when Patrick Horgan was taken off in the second half, you said, what if they get a late free? What happens there? And yet the 2 subs that they brought on in particular, Shane Kingston and Tim O'Mahony, have been a big an effect.
Absolutely, Joanne. And I'm delighted for Kieran Kingston as well, because we all know what's gone into it, and the players responded. I think the challenge was there beforehand. Brendan mentioned anger and aggression, but the subs were crucial, like, there's no doubt about it. Tim O'Mahony up front, a lot of people have been talking about this for a long time. He likes it up there. I think he was a fulcrum. He was first to the ball. He laid off the ball. This is a brilliant goal. What a finisher Connolly is. And so unlucky not to get another goal near the end. But Kingston as well, central to it all. He battled so hard as well.
Mihal loved that flick.
Yeah, that was unbelievable, and you have to give huge credit to Alan Connolly. He got 2 goals, but he carried on his form from last week. He was absolutely outstanding. He held the ball, and he had a huge ally in Tim O'Mahony when he came on as well.
That fight in the old dog, that was quite evident from the off, wasn't it?
Definitely, Joanne. I think all over the field, there's loads of examples there. Look, Cork know a bit about fighting as well, like, do you know what I mean? Cork know a bit about competing, so on, and things like that. You mightn't think there was a lot of the stuff going on in the media over the last while, but credit, there was some fair criticism of Cork. Of course there was, right? But right from the start here, you can see more Cork players around the ball, hounding him out. I think this is a really good example. Kingston never gave up, was coming back from the forward line. Brendan spoke about it. We all know this is the modern game. You must be able to match what we saw with the previous goal, the skill, the vision, the risk. We know this is a fundamental, and this is inside those Cork players. They wouldn't have earned those Cork jerseys in the first place if they didn't have fighting spirit inside them.
What a score this is.
Yeah, and himself and Coleman, like Fitzgibbon off the ground, like Tony Kelly style. Great finish, and it's in him, it's in Coleman,
and
it's in these guys.
That came when Waterford had come back into it.
Correct.
In the first half.
After they got the 1-4, Waterford had taken over with their goal, and this was the kick back after just before half time.
There's a key one with Fitzgibbon that you showed there, Joanne. When Fitzgibbon plays well in this Cork group, Cork play well.
Have a look at the table here, because what could prove significant. Now, we don't know what's going to happen between a very noisy Clare and Limerick here in Ennis. Clare at the moment are +10. So what happens against Limerick this afternoon? How much of it, depending obviously who wins, if Clare do lose, how big a deficit they lose by as well. So it is so all to play for, isn't it?
Oh, you fight for every single ball here, until no matter what the scoreline is. And you know, you think about the Clare-Cork match, the Cork 2 goals near the end, how significant could all that be?
Now, usually we say there are several contenders for man of the match. Austin Gleeson did look good for a long time for Waterford, but there was only one man for you 3.
There was only one man, and that was Seamus Harnedy. From start to finish, he was absolutely outstanding. Like, he led by example in his work rate and his attitude. He covered every blade of grass and contributed hugely with 5 points, and totally deserving of man of the match.
We did put together a piece on Seamus Harnedy, but he was involved so much that it was way too long to show it. So instead, let's hear from him now. He's with Damien O'Mara.
Seamus, congratulations. You're the Bord Gáis Energy man of the match. How much of a lesson did we learn today about Cork unity and the ability of this panel to pull together?
Look, to be honest, we just felt that, you know, small tweaks let us down the last 2 games against Clare. Brutal start, went 10-11 points down. Very hard to recover into county when you go that far behind. Look, as a group, I've fierce faith in this group. They're a young bunch. A lot of them have more accolades and all-Ireland medals than I have underage. So, you know, I've always believed in this group, and you know, you sometimes just have to keep the outside out, you know, and we tend to do that. So look, we knew coming down here, you know, we heard murmurings, we were outsiders. I don't know what it was, but look, come here, we're just delighted. We knew if we put in a performance, we'd have a chance, and that's all you can do. Work ethic is the foundation, and we brought that today.
Irrespective of the outside noise, league finalists, All-Ireland finalists last year, you know the quality within this squad. You must have put pressure on yourselves to do yourselves justice, put out a performance that you know you're capable of, and get the result that would in time deserve.
I think every day you step over the line into county, you have to believe in the team that's gone out, and that hasn't changed for me, albeit 2 bad performances against Clare and Limerick. We were eager to rectify it. We were waiting patiently, kind of waiting for this game for a long time, and I wish it was last weekend, to be honest. It was another week of hurt. So look, we just bottled that up and we brought it today, and thank God we delivered a good performance in a hard place to come. So fair play to the supporters as well. When Waterford got on top of us there, I think it was 1-9-1-6, they rallied us as well. So fair play to them coming up in their droves as well today.
In contrast, you have a quick turnaround now. This blows the Munster Championship wide open again, and not much time to rest on the celebrations tonight. It's all about building on this and using this as the building block to now get out of Munster.
Absolutely, it's the same thing we always do now. We're just going to reflect, take the learnings from this performance, bring it into next week, and hopefully that'll be enough. It blows things wide open. So we know, look, we're only 2 points in the group, so a long way to go. But look, looking forward to it. That's what you look forward to, inter-county games. So yeah, looking forward to next week.
Congratulations, you are, as mentioned, the Bord Gáis Energy man of the match, and with your presentation on behalf of Bord Gáis Energy, we're joined by Jenny Kelly.
Thanks very much. Cheers. Thank you.
Foolish, really, in retrospect, to doubt the warrior that is Seamus Harnedy. He spoke there about having to deal with a hurt and all that time to think about what has happened for. Waterford are facing that now. I can't imagine the pressure they must be going under and will have ahead of them ahead of next week's game.
That's it, Joanna. I happened to be down there last Thursday night, and you could nearly smell the pressure. Honest to God, like they were saying, we'll have enough, we'll have enough, but they didn't have enough. Like, and Austin was their best player, and he got a double yellow, so it was over once he went off. But they malfunctioned in so many positions. It's a huge week for Liam Cahill ahead. What an intriguing finish to the Munster Championship.
Yeah, we were afraid that it was going to end in a couple of dead rubbers. It certainly is not, and of course there's still more to come. Bit of a shock in match 1 of the penultimate weekend of the Munster round robin. Can Clare cause an upset in match 2? Clare against Limerick on the way.